You're watching End Zone, sponsored by Brahms.
And welcome to another edition of the End Zone along with Camryn Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. Hope everyone is enjoying this transfer portal window portion of the college football season. I know that the national championship is inching closer and college football will on the field be over, but the portal never sleeps, really, right?
No.
I mean, it opened on January 2nd, but there was lots of news about the portal before it officially opened, and I promise you after January 16th, when it officially closes, that will not be the end of anything, as we've seen with the Desmond Williams situation out of Washington and Lane Kiffin's tomfoolery. So a lot happening. It's both fun and frustrating, I think, simultaneously for college football fans, but what a wild time it is.
Yeah, I found myself in the last couple of days, like you get through the first 2 days and there's just so much that's happening. I mean, that first wave of people and you're like, okay, like we're almost there, right? No. We still have
not even close.
At least 10 more days of this or a week, whatever it is. But it's like, to your point, it's go, go, go and never sleeps.
And there's so many dominoes, right? I mean, like one domino falls and it creates an effect. And you have one guy decide, hey, I'm going to this school. And then somebody in his position group that is like, oh, wow, he's coming here. That probably means I'm not going to play very much. Now I have to get in the portal and see what my options are. And, I mean, that's happened everywhere. That's obviously happened here in the state of Oklahoma. We've seen it over the last week. But it's just the Wild West. It is just a free-for-all frenzy that nobody seems to have an idea of how to corral. The timeline as far as it happening while the playoffs are going. I mean, the whole thing is just bananas. And there I am clicking refresh on all the different sites trying to see like who the latest commitment is and if OU or OSU or Tulsa is going to gain or lose anybody significant at any given moment.
Well, what also makes it wild too is not even just the player standpoint, just this window of time. I mean, like you had the whole Ole Miss situation of, okay, we made it to the semifinals, but are we even going to have our coaches for that? I mean, it's just like
unreal,
as crazy as it gets this time of year.
Well, let's talk about Oklahoma. Before we talk about what they've done in the transfer portal, we got to talk about a coaching change because Jason Witten, former Dallas Cowboy icon, if you will, is the new tight end coach in Norman. Two-time All-Pro, 11-time Pro Bowler, one of the all-time great Dallas Cowboys. Look, I don't know how great a coach he is. I know he's been coaching high school in Texas, but I don't think this can be a bad thing in any way.
No, and especially, I mean, you and I have a little bit of Cowboys fandom in there.
Soft spot for sure.
Yeah, it's nice to see another one of them find their way to Norman. I mean, on paper, you see a big name like that, you can't help but get excited. Again, to your point, who knows what his coaching capabilities are like, but that's going to be a good recruiting factor as well. So for now, I would be excited about that. If
you want to get big-time tight ends, get a future Hall of Fame tight end to come coach tight ends, and maybe that changes things. Really, since Mark Andrews was in Norman, the tight end position has been something that most fans have been pretty underwhelmed by. And then Joe John Finley was fired last week. Speaking of tight ends, Oklahoma got a couple of big-time additions via the transfer portal. We got to start with Rocky Beers. I mean, first of all, the NIL opportunities that exist with this guy are off the charts. He's the brother of Reagan Beers, the OU women's basketball star. And last year, he set the tight end touchdown record at Colorado State. This guy could be a big-time playmaker. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, again, with Jason Witten coming in, it's going to be really fun to see how that dynamic works out, because it's not like he's coming into a full room that he can kind of put his hands on. It's fully just new everywhere. So you get that chance to start fresh and build up that room the way you want it. So.
Yeah, he's a big-time pass catcher. They're also bringing in Hayden Hansen, 6'8", 269 pounds, out of Florida. Wasn't like wildly productive at Florida, but he has the frame and the physical ability to potentially be a big-time impact player.
Yeah, the size was the first thing that jumps out at me. I mean, 6'8", come on, like you're gonna want that. That's gonna be a great blocking opportunity as well. Again, just another, I think. As I was saying earlier, if Jim Nagy was a pitcher in baseball, no one say anything when he comes back into the dugout.
He's on a heater,
He's on a heater, no hitter. Everything he's done thus far has been impressive.
Well, the Sooners offense certainly lacked big-time playmakers. That's not to say they didn't have any, but they could definitely use more, especially through SEC play. There were times that the offense seemed to really get stagnant. Parker Livingston pulling the Red River reversal. I mean, this guy has big-time playmaker written all over him. We saw it at times at Texas a year ago, but this was a wild commitment because I don't think anybody saw this coming. As soon as I heard the news, I thought, what a get, because I know going into last year, some of my friends that cover Texas in Austin in the media were just raving about this kid's potential.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline is crazy. I mean, you've got Arch Manning's roommate, for crying out loud, and then he kind of hints that maybe it wasn't his choice to leave, so then he comes to naturally their rival. So I think, obviously, if you're a Sooner fan, you're happy to get that guy, but it's going to make for a really fun Red River rivalry next season. But I think, as we've seen at Texas, he's an explosive playmaker, and the Sooners will be glad to have him.
John Mateer is going to be happy he's there. I don't know if Arch Manning was happy that he was in Austin, but John Mateer is certainly going to be happy to have him. And he's going to be happy to have Trell Harris out of Virginia, who a lot of people consider to be among the top playmaking pass catchers in this portal class out of Virginia. I mean, I thought the Cavaliers did a great job of utilizing him in a lot of different ways. They put him in the slot, the short passing game. They threw him the ball over the top. I mean, he's really versatile, I think, in terms of what he can do within an offense.
Yeah, versatile is the word that I was going to go for there as well. I mean, you look at the passing game this past season, OU was good with the short passes and got better with the long balls. But when you have a player like that, you're going to start to see those intermediate passing game hopefully improve. I think it's just nice to be able to have someone who can do a little bit of everything and be a Swiss Army knife.
Well, and seemingly more big playmakers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Isaiah Satania kind of felt like the only big playmaker in the passing game, and I know there were other guys that had some big moments, but nobody else really felt like, hey, that's a guy that you want to throw the ball to in big moments. It was Isaiah Satania and then not really anybody else in the passing game. So big time gets for Jim Nagy, and expect that Sooner offense to look a lot different, at least personnel-wise, going into 2026. All right, we got to take a timeout. We're going to talk Oklahoma State football because they currently have the #2 ranked portal class in the country, a complete overhaul offensively. We'll talk about it next on the End Zone. All right, let's talk more transfer portal. Oklahoma State, we knew they were going to be really busy in the transfer portal this year. 2 straight seasons without winning a conference game. Offensively, they were among the worst in the country in all of FBS football. Out of 136 teams, they ranked 134th in scoring. They were 130th in total offense, 116 passing offense, 114 in rushing offense. I mean, it was dreadful.
Not pretty.
For the majority of last season. So they bring in offensive mastermind Eric Morris from UNT. And we'll start with the big UNT trio. Drew Messamaker, by every scouting service out there, is ranked as a top 5 transfer portal player in this class. He was insanely good as a freshman at North Texas this past season, leading them to a 12-2 record over 4,300 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, big arm. Sometimes the decision making from him is a little questionable, but he's a freshman, right?
Yeah.
The maturity aspect is going to continue to come along, but he has the physical ability to make big plays.
The reports were out there before it was ever made official, but to me, once I saw that news officially break, it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Like Oklahoma State, it's always exciting when you get a new head coach because of the potential, but then you see him bring in talent like that. Of course, they knew they had that connection at North Texas, but to bring in a playmaker like that, especially after such a rocky last 2 years at the quarterback position, I mean, it's hard not to feel like there's a lot working for him right now.
I know when Eric Morris came and the portal really started, there was some conversation about Mestamaker being pursued by Indiana, who's potentially on their way to winning a national championship, and you wonder, like, how heavy is the Eric Morris lean, or going to arguably the #1 team in the country. And so I really wonder if he'd gone the other way, if the rest of these UNT guys don't potentially look elsewhere also. But he goes to Oklahoma State, and it seems like the rest of the offense has followed suit. I think OSU fans should be thrilled about Drew Mestamaker. I think OSU fans should be over the moon about Caleb Hawkins.
Yeah.
I wish I could have done a 5-minute highlight video of Caleb Hawkins in this segment just to show Caleb Hawkins highlights, because this guy is a wrecking ball. He runs angry. He runs through defenders, around defenders. Like, he just plays with a physicality that is a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, and kind of like the quarterback position, it feels like they haven't had a bunch of continuity at that position in recent. Well, you had, of course, Ollie Gordon, but to see someone come in with just, like you said, a wrecking ball, just runs tough, runs hard, that's going to be a huge asset. Especially, I mean, Drew Mestemaker is impressive on his own, but when you have someone in the backfield with him who can also do some pretty big things, that's huge.
Yeah, he bounces off tacklers over and over. You watch the film, bounces off tacklers over and over and over. It's a ton of fun to watch. Wyatt Young is also a little bit like that. I mean, in terms of playing with physicality, the UNT receiver caught 10 touchdowns this year, has a ton of plays where he is making big gains after the catch, making defenders miss, breaking tackles. Drew Mestemaker put up big numbers. Some of those big numbers were because of what Caleb Hawkins and Wyatt Young did after the catch.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at it right there, able to outrun just the way he runs. It's just there's a lot of impressive versatility, agility in there. And to your point, anytime you see a quarterback put up a lot of yards, sometimes your question is, okay, did he throw for a lot of yards, or did he have a receiver who's making, a lot of yards after the catch? I mean, it's exciting.
How about this for a stat? Last season, Mestemaker threw for 34 touchdowns. Hawkins ran for 25. Those two combined scored or accounted for more touchdowns than the entire Oklahoma State offense over the last 2 full seasons.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, I can believe that, but that's downright impressive that all that production is coming from just those two guys.
So I don't know what the UNT transfer number to Oklahoma State is now. I think it's at like 15, maybe 16. They're not just getting playmakers, though, from the Mean Green. Justin Bowick out of Illinois is also a big-time playmaker, 6'4", big body guy that I think they're going to be able to utilize in the red zone.
Oh, absolutely. Excuse me. I'm so excited.
And anytime you wear number 0, like, you got to be a playmaker, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. No, it's just, especially in the history that they have at the receiver position there, to see someone who comes in and just has that spark there and is exciting to watch. I mean, there's a lot of rejuvenation, I feel like, in this class so far that's coming in. And
we got to mention one other guy out of Akron, out of the MAC. Big time find. I think this is an underrated addition. Israel Polk, who just did nothing but make big plays and score touchdowns at Akron this past season.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel like they're not just loading up and ready to go. It's like football season can't get here quick enough. I want to see these guys in action, because you see stuff like that, and especially with the bar on the floor right now.
I said the OU offense was going to look different in 26. The Oklahoma State offense is different in 20. Like, I don't even know if there's going to be one person that is a carryover. So, you got to love the MAC edition there. I mean, it's the transfer portal, right? We're all having a blast. It's so much fun. And on that note, let's head over to Adam King for 10 seconds of MAC football.
You guys are poachers. The transfer portal is just buns this year. Of the 29 first-team All-MAC players, 3 of them will be back on their teams on the field next year. A quarterback.
And that was 10 seconds of MAC football, thanks to MAC correspondent Adam King. We've got to talk about the Thunder struggles on the other side of the break. You're watching The End Zone. Well, enough of the transfer portal. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. So December 10th, they win their 24th game out of 25, tying an NBA record. They're 24-1. Everybody has basically crowned them champions. They're going to break the record. They're unstoppable, right? Cancel NBA seasons to come. Nobody's getting in the Thunder's way. Then they go to Las Vegas for the NBA Cup semifinal. They are now 7-6 since that Spurs loss, thanks to the overtime win over the Utah Jazz the other night. But they've not been playing great basketball. Everybody wants to know what's wrong with the Thunder. So my buddy Anthony Morrow answered that question.
It's 82 games, bro. Like, it's no way. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there's no way that you're not going through some adversity.
Right.
Like, it's so much that goes on with players, organizations, coaches. Like, and I'm not saying they're in a bad space, but some of the things that was working earlier in the season is not going to be working going into All-Star break or after All-Star. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing wrong with that. This is it. It's the best players in the world, so, I mean, it happens. And I don't think it's nothing wrong with it at all, because I think they will still end up in the finals.
Important lesson there. they're people. Did you realize, like, we all kind of forget, and I know this, but I'm kind of guilty of this at times too. Like, you look at a team and you just think, like, this guy's a football player, and there's nothing else going on in his life, and nothing else should be impacting, like, his physical ability to just go on the field and perform, and that's not reality at all.
No, and the one plus side, I think in the long run there's several plus sides, but I'm glad that this rough stretch is happening when it is. I mean, you take this now as opposed to come playoffs, but yeah, it's, what was it, 2 back-to-back losses in 2 weeks, and then flirting with a 3rd straight loss against Utah. It makes you scratch your head for sure. And I think I also saw a stat in there somewhere too. I don't remember the exact numbers, but was talking about the records that the Thunder had with and without Jalen Williams, J-Dub. And it's been really interesting to see. I don't know if, correlation equals causation or if there's anything there, but it's interesting to watch them have
and tons
to
of
work
moving
it out.
parts that you have to make work together. It's, I mean, there's been a lot of different things, I think, to throw into the why as to the Thunder struggles. Speaking of Jalen Williams, after the Utah game, he discussed dealing with these struggles.
I think everything's about perspective. It's like, this doesn't sound cocky, but like, we win just the last 3 years, we win so much. When we have like a normal human stretch of like losing a game or two that we shouldn't have lost, like the world freaks out, you know what I mean? So it's like a thing that we do internally that's a good job of like just going out there and playing. Like, we're not superheroes, like we have human moments, like we are human, like we get physically and mentally tired just throughout the season. And I feel like that kind of showed just in that stretch. And that's something we just get to work on and like get better with, but it's just a part of the game. Like, you're gonna, like, every team this year has lost a couple games that they wish they can have back, and we understand that. It's just like how many of those can you limit during the season, and how much better can you get because of it, and that, we'll take any win we can get.
I mean, that's about as honest as it gets. I love hearing his perspective, and he had a lot of other interesting comments after the game the other night. SGA on getting through these struggles and getting on the brighter side of things.
Take accountability. You have to, like, be willing to embrace it as well. Like, Sam told me this a long time ago, like, success isn't linear. Like, it goes up and down. And you stick at it long enough, you'll eventually get where you want to go. But yeah, it's no different than any other sport. Every team goes through rough patches. Nobody's gone 82-0 in the NBA season for a reason. It's a hard league, the hardest basketball to play in. And yeah, we're gonna have games where we don't play our best, and it might look like 2 games, it might look like 2 weeks, it might look like 2 months. But taking the steps forward and persevering through it is the only way you get better, and don't let it make you worse.
I mean, as sports fans, we know that all teams go through rough patches. I think a lot of Thunder fans have said something along the lines of the body language, I think, through this stretch at times has been concerning because they've looked physically defeated. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs, not comparing them, but in the middle of their dynasty, they had that 1 year where they looked really good, and then you had last season, granted, we won't talk about what happened in that game, but they kind of stumbled their way in, but still made it to the Super Bowl despite being rough. So, again, not comparing apples to oranges there. All I'm saying is there's a long way to go.
There's a long way to go, and I am not too concerned yet.
All right, it's Wild Card Weekend coming up, so let's make some game picks to wrap up the show.
Time now for the Brahms in the Bag Pick of the Week.
All right, massive weekend in the NFL. Let's jump into Wild Card Weekend picks. Rams at the surprise of the NFL, Panthers.
Yeah, you said surprise, and I think that's for good reason. They just barely made it in to that playoff spot. I think the Rams are a much better team. I think they take this one easily.
I think Rams are much better, but I'll take the 10 points for my guy Anthony Morrow, who's a massive Carolina Panther fan. All right, we've got Packers-Bears.
Yeah, this is one of the games of the week, I think. Jordan Love will be back for that one. It'll be interesting to see. This is the big thing. He's had 3 playoff appearances, all very different results. So how he plays will be a big factor. I think ultimately Chicago gets it.
I love a home underdog. Give me the Chicago Bears. All right, Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know, Jacksonville is probably the better team on paper, but I'm a Josh Allen fan, and I just can't find it in good conscience to pull against Josh Allen. I'm going to count on experience to show up in this one.
Everything I said about home underdogs, throw it in the trash. Give me the Buffalo Bills -1.5. All right, 49ers, Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles are just a hot and cold offense. You never know what you're going to get. San Francisco's banged up on both sides, but ultimately I'm rolling with the Niners. In this
Can't do it, won't do it. Give me San Francisco. Chargers, Patriots.
I think I went with the Chargers to cover on this one. It's a toss-up who wins. These are two very good ball clubs.
I like the Pats at home and Texans, Steelers to wrap it up.
Yeah, Texans are covering this one.
Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers, the home underdog thing again. I like to use it, when it's there, and then, discard it when I need to. All right, that's it for us. Everybody have a great wild card weekend along with Camryn Johnson. I'm Colby Daniels. We'll see you next week on the End Zone.